I would not ever indicate anything that he indicated to me. I can't get into that.
Like, is he worried?
Well, I'm not going to speculate on that, but like I said, use your common sense. If you were in a jail or confined in a state where supposedly there's rumors going around you're going to be charged with murder, use your common sense.
What can you tell us about your client?
What's that?
What can you tell us about your client?
Probably not a whole lot.
What were your first impressions of him whenever you met with him or spoke with him for the first time?
I'm not like the airplane movie said, hey, give us your impression. And the guy says, I don't do impressions. So I wasn't looking for impressions. What I was trying to do was form a bond with my client. I want him to trust me, and I want him to be confident that I'm here for him. And I feel that I'm very pleased how that went.
As if this Luigi Mangione story couldn't have gotten more dramatic, his attorney, Thomas Dickey, decided to do a media tour where he found a way to toss out references to the movie Airplane that I'm embarrassed to say that I understood.
One big question that everyone has is, are you being paid by his family to represent him?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that.
Well, can you say that it's not his family who is asking you to retain him, or to retaining you to represent him?
I'm not going to comment on. I'm not going to comment on that. That's I've been retained. I'm not court appointed. I've been retained, and that's all I can tell you.
We had seen reports earlier that there was, people were inundating you with offers to help pay for his legal bills. Is that accurate?
I have received some emails. I have not seen them personally, but my understanding from my staff is people are doing that.
That people are reaching out to you and offering to help pay for his legal bills.
That's correct.
Caitlin Collins took the longer route to get to the point that she wanted to ask. So are the tons of people that are supportive of the guy that murdered the healthcare CEO paying his legal bills? He knew how bad it would look to a lot of people if he was the guy accepting money from the vicious members of society that related to his assumed motive.
Would you accept those offers? I mean, I imagine you maybe have, I don't know, have you ever gotten that before?
Nah, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't.
Why do you think you would not accept that?
I don't know. I just I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable about that. So I don't know. I haven't given that much thought, but I'm not looking. Obviously my client appreciates the support that he has, but I don't know. I just I'd have to look in, but it just doesn't sit right with me, really.
Why do you think they're offering?
I don't know. People, you talk about, the Supreme Court says, all these rich billionaires can give all kind of money to candidates, and that's free speech. So maybe these people are exercising their right to free speech and saying that's the way they're supporting my client.
So Thomas Dickey went from, I'm not too comfortable accepting offers to pay his legal bills, to bringing up billionaires' claim to free speech through their control of our politicians. So first, his client is being celebrated for killing a CEO because of the extreme hatred that predatory industry has. And now he's calling out the billionaires that buy our politicians so that they'll allow it.
Some attention in this case, especially online, has been deeply disturbing, as some have looked to celebrate instead of condemning this killer. Brian Thompson was a father to two. He was a husband, and he was a friend to many. And yes, he was the CEO of a health insurance company. In America, we do not kill people in cold blood to resolve policy differences or express a viewpoint.
Josh Shapiro isn't winning over regular Americans by jumping on the standard approach of fearing unrest because people aren't mourning Brian Thompson. We've gotten down to being a life or death situation for citizens, so reprimanding people about their response when it's clear why isn't working as much as it used to.
I understand people have real frustration with our healthcare system, and I have worked to address that throughout my career. But I have no tolerance, nor should anyone, for one man using an illegal ghost gun to murder someone because he thinks his opinion matters most. In a civil society, We are all less safe when ideologues engage in vigilante justice. In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero. The real hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning. The real heroes every day in our society are the women and men who put on uniforms like these and go out in our communities to keep us safe. This killer was not a hero. He should not be hailed.
I think there are ways to be a politician and call for people to not take to the streets and still understand why they're celebrating this murder. It's insulting to tell them that there's nothing to be upset about when they're collectively telling you what they're all upset about. Two Democrats that have been right on healthcare for years found a way to say it. The visceral response from people across this country who feel cheated, ripped off, and threatened by the vile practices of their insurance companies should be a warning to everyone in the healthcare system, Senator Elizabeth Warren told the Huffington Post. Violence is never the answer, but people can be pushed only so far. This is a warning that if you push people hard enough, they lose faith in the ability of their government to make change, lose faith in the ability of the people who are providing the healthcare to make change, and start to take matters into their own hands in ways that will ultimately be a threat to everyone. Senator Bernie Sanders called Thompson's murder outrageous and unacceptable before similarly criticizing insurance company practices. I think what the outpouring of anger at the healthcare industry tells us is that millions of people understand that healthcare is a human right and that you cannot have people in the insurance industry rejecting needed healthcare for people while they make billions of dollars in profit. So I don't think anyone can claim that Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders are inciting people to start running through the streets to exact revenge on CEOs. So all of Shapiro's reprimanding does is tell people that he isn't listening to their legitimate concerns. He's got Mangione's attorney on a media tour getting questions that he has no plans of answering the way that Caitlin Collins wanted him to.
I've been in this case probably about 12, 14 hours, maybe whatever, give or take. And I haven't seen a speck of evidence at all. I argued today at the extradition hearing. I still haven't received details about the charges. We as lawyers need to make informed decisions, and we need to get our hands and our eyes on some evidence.
As you're fighting extradition, you're not actually arguing that the authorities in New York have the wrong guy, are you?
Well, I haven't seen any evidence that they have the right guy. I can tell you that much. So I don't know anything about that. There's identification issues that are present, and so I don't. Like I said, this is why I need to look at some things, and they need to convince me. I try to remind people. And it's a shame that we forget about this presumption of innocence that the Constitution gives all Americans.
When they asked to confirm his identity, he said that he shouldn't have lied to them about it. I mean, that would seem to be that they do have the right person, given that he had a gun on him, he had a fake New Jersey ID that he used to check into a hostel. I mean, is none of that enough for you personally to know that they do have the right guy?
Well, first of all, that's a piece of paper. I know you probably can't tell, but I'm 5'6". I could write on that I'm 6'5", and all this other kind of stuff. So that's written on paper. What's nice about the law is we'll have a hearing. I can cross-examine witnesses and find out, look at reports and find out what they have and what they don't have.